and welcome back to Mathematics with Usman. This is the second tutorial in my series on the topic probability. If you've been watching my previous video on probability, we have talked about the probability event type number 1, that was independent event. Independent events are the events in which the probability of the second event is unaffected by the probability of the first event. Dear students, in this tutorial we are going to explore the second type of event called the dependent event, the kind of event in which the probability of the second event is affected by the probability of the first event. And in order to illustrate that, we have got up the example here. In this particular example, students, we are given with 5 different cards. The card number 1 is bearing the number 5, card number 2 is having the number 2, 3 is having 4, 4 is having 6, and the card number 5 is bearing number 3. What we have to do here, a student or any person is chosen 2 cards at random. These 2 cards are placed next to each other to give a 2-digit number. In problem number 1, what we have to do is find the probability that the 2-digit number is less than 30. Dear students, I am assuming here that you people are well aware of the tree diagram construction. If not, do go back and check the earlier tutorial, whose link I am going to leave in the description box. In order to reach the solution, students, I encourage you to draw the 2 trials. Since we are picking the 2 numbers or the 2 cards at random, so we must have 2 trials and draw the vertical lines in which the first trial represent the selection of the card 1 and the second represent the selection of the card 2. Now, if we consider the first trial, students, see, we are hoping a number that is less than 30. So in the first trial, we are looking for the card bearing the number 2 only. But there are 2 possible outcomes. We can have a trial in which we can get 2 on the card, or a card that is bearing a number that is not 2, which means the first trial can have a number 2 or any other card out of these 4, 5, 4, 6 or 3. If we get the number 2 on the first card, it means we can have a number that is less than 30. Now come to the second trial. How many possible outcomes we are having? Students, as I told you, this is the dependent event. Means that the number is not replaced back into the draw. If we have taken that number 2, which means that the 2 is out of the game now. For the second trial, means for the selection of the next card, we are having now 1, 2, 3, 4 possible outcomes. So if we get 2 on the first trial, there are 4 different possible outcomes for the selection of the card 2, means for the next trial. Students, you can see that the dependent event, that is the occurrence of the 2, now we have 4 possible outcomes for it. So the probability of the second event is enormously dependent upon the probability of the first event. Now students, the strange thing here, what I have written is this /sign, and this is very useful in conditional probability. So that's why I am introducing you here with this different kind of notation. What does that mean is, if we get the probability of occurrence of the 2 in the first event, then what is the probability that 3 will occur in the next event. So what we read, how we read it, probability of the occurrence of 3 given that we have got 2 in the previous selection. Probability of 4 given that we have got 2 in the previous selection, and probability of 5 given that we have got 2 in the previous, and similarly probability of getting 6 on the second card given that we have got 2 in the previous selection. All the possible outcomes that we can get if we get 2 on the draw number 1 and 4 other cards on the draw number 2. We have a complete sample space of these numbers, that is 23, 24, 25 and 26, and these are the 4 possible outcomes that will suit our problem. Means the solution for our problem is getting 23, 24, 25, 26. These are the 4 trials that are suiting our cars out of the 20 different trials. Now the question is how we get 20 different outcomes that in total, or how the sample space contains 20 outcomes. So dear students, you can see here we can have a number 2 on the trial. There are 4 possible outcomes. So we will get 2 on the first, 3 on the second, 2 on the first, 4 on the second, 2 on the first, 5 on the second, 2 on the first and 6 on the second. So 4 possible outcomes with 2. Similarly students, on the first selection we can have a number 5. So we can have 4 different cards with 5 as well. 5 2, 5 5, 5 4, 5 6, 5 3. Similarly students, for each card we are having 4 different outcomes in the next trial. So total possible outcomes are 20. Now we know the formula how to find the probability. Probability of any event is equals to favorable outcomes divided by the total number of outcomes. In this case, these 4 outcomes 1, 2, 3 and 4, they are favorable. However, the total number of outcomes are 20. So 4 over 20, if we simplify it, we will get 1 over 5. So the probability that 2-digit number is less than 30 will be equals to 1 over 5. Let us consider another example in which students we have to find the possible 2-digit numbers that are prime. Prime numbers are the numbers that have 2 factors only, 1 and the number itself. Now if you consider these 4 numbers here, only number that is prime is 23. However, if a first trial bear a number 3, then we will be left with the second trial with 5, 2, 4 and 6. So we get 35, we get 32, we get 36 and 34. Now if the first card is 4, then we can have a number 45, 42, 46 and 43. If first card is 5, then we can have a number 52, 54, 56 and 53. For 6 we can have 65, 62, 64 and 63. Now students, out of these 20 outcomes we have that are 23, 43 and 53. Students, in the third problem what we have to do is find the probability that a 2-digit number is multiple of 4. Again, out of those 20 we have to select the numbers that are multiple of 4. So they are 24, 32, 36, 52, 56 and 64. So students, you can see that there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 possible outcomes out of 20. So the probability of this event will be equals to 6 out of 20. And this brings us to the end of today's tutorial. Students, I hope it has some value to your mathematical concepts. As always, Thank you very much for watching Mathematics with Usman. See you in another tutorial. Till then, it's goodbye.